guys, today we are looking at more questions from you guys, this time from Instagram, from Claire Johns. Have you ever experienced competition within your flute section, or possibly a member of the flute section that always wanted to take control and wasn't beneficial to the section? Farfel Alfredo, I love your name. At Claire Johns, I asked a similar question in the comments of the video, how to deal with the section diva, the one who is not principal or section leader but wants to take control and refuses to play anything other than first part. To which Claire John says, yes, it's frustrating. I just hope Joanna has tips and tricks on how to deal with the section diva. First off, I have to say that I love seeing you guys talk to each other. It's nice to know you're not the only one who has to deal with a section diva, right? Alright, so the first thing I think of when I think of section diva was the experience I had playing with a flutist in one of my youth symphonies. I was in my first year of high school. We did our usual auditions and everything, and I got placed into first chair. This was actually the year before I started the Vancouver Academy Symphony, and there was this other flutist who got placed in the symphony with me. It was not the other lady that I talked about who was amazing and wonderful, the elf lady. This was not her. This was another girl. At that point, I had never really experienced section drama. I was just kind of, unaware, just blissfully ignorant. Randomly in one of the rehearsals, she asked if we could rotate parts. I had never had any experience with rotating parts before, and I didn't see why we shouldn't. It just came off as weird. I didn't really see it as her trying to take my spot. And for me, as you guys know, I am naturally a second flute player, so I actually was like, oh, well, that's great. Well, then I don't have to play all the flute solos and all the first flute parts all the time. I saw it as a break. What was really weird was that I thought she was trying to be friends with me. So I would try and talk with her, but she would never actually talk to me. She would just kind of be like, I was just kind of thinking to myself, like, well, what's wrong with me that you don't want to talk with me? We're in this together. I was just really confused. After a while, my viola friend took me aside during one of our orchestra breaks, and he was like, Joanna, she's trying to take your parts from you. You need to put your foot down and say no. I was like, oh, he wasn't like a huge in-your-face leader. He's a viola player. For him to put his foot down and say that to me, I was like, well, I guess he means business. Never mind the fact that I had a crush on this viola dude at that point. When the other flutist looked at me like, okay, let's rotate now, I had to tell her, no, this is my part and I have to play it. And the most surprising thing was that she actually was like, oh. And then she never asked me again. So it was very clearly obvious that she was trying to take advantage of me because she had nothing to say for herself. I really think that girl really felt like it was unfair because I was 3 years younger than her. I took her rightful place. The difference between a 17-year-old and a 14-year-old is actually pretty huge. Once you hit your 20s though, no one cares how old you are because you're just old. A lot of times we wrongly assume that divas know that they're being divas. They really don't actually. That's why they are acting out that way. They really think that their rightful place has been stolen. And so it's not a surprise that they treat the rest of the section like trash. It's because they in a way really do think that the rest of the section is trash. Your worth is based on how well you play your instrument. It's a very dangerous perspective. They really think that people should follow what they say because they are right. In their eyes, they see themselves as helping the section, and why isn't the section listening to them? It all depends on what perspective you see the story. And for the rest of you who feel that you're being wronged by the section diva, you don't know what's going on in their life. You don't know what's going on in their own private lessons with their teacher. Maybe their teacher makes them feel like crap and they're letting it out on you. Maybe their parents spoil them and tell them that they're the best when they're really not. And they really believe it because that is all they are hearing. There's a lot of uncontrollable factors when you're dealing with people, when you're dealing with interpersonal relations. The section diva cannot control you guys, and you guys also cannot control the section diva. I had a pep talk with my San Francisco State Wind Ensemble flutists. There were 17 of us in total. At that point, in my first year, I was the only master's student. I gathered everyone together and I told them, hey, yo, this is our group. I just want you guys to all know that we all come from different backgrounds. The level at which you play the flute has nothing to do with what I think of you as a person. I actually said that to them. As a leader, if you say that to your team, it makes them think about how they see the rest of the section too. You're not pointing the finger at them saying, you guys need to think of each other as human beings with other lives. It's using myself as an example and setting the example, showing them that it is possible to be a master's flute student leading a group of 17 flutists, most of whom don't even go to the music school, that it is possible for me to see the rest of them as valuable human beings with valuable stories and valuable work that they can contribute to the group to make the group better. If you use yourself as an example and they feel safe with you, it's very natural for the rest of them to follow suit. Everyone wants to be in a safe environment. Why else do you think your section diva says the things that they do? They're trying to make their section feel more safe for them. And for them, the only way that they know to make it safe is to play first flute and to control the group. Everyone else is resenting that and going against it, which just makes things feel even more unsafe and uncontrollable to the section diva. And then for the rest of you guys feel that they're bullying you and making the environment very unsafe and uncontrollable, and everything just rolls and gets out of hand, right? If you have the blessing of being the oldest and the section leader, I greatly encourage you to say this out loud to your team. You gotta gather them all together for a pep talk. You want to set the tone, set the rules. The rules are that we help each other out. There are no stupid questions. You must understand that we all come from different backgrounds and all of us are valuable and worth it. That nobody's worth is based on how well they play the flute. If you articulate these things out to your team, I can almost guarantee that your team will be quite amazing. And the people who may have ended up being section divas, they may actually be some of the most helpful flutists in your group, because now you have set the tone for how do people help. If you set the tone in the beginning, people who receive help will see it as, oh, they're helping me. Not, oh, they're just trying to make themselves look better than me and they're just trying to make me do things their way. I will say that when I did this pep talk with them, it was a little bit awkward because everyone was silent. But everyone's eyes went from looking shut down to sort of twinkling by the end, and people were starting to smile. I think we all want everyone to be friendly with us, but we often forget that it's really awkward making friends. You know, making friends takes time, it takes effort, and it takes a desire to understand each other. And so, like, you can't expect your team to become friends overnight, but you can expect your team to be polite and to care for each other, even though they're not the best of friends yet. So yes, give the pep talk, but then two, give them time. Section divas can actually be some of the most instrumental people in your team. You just need to learn how to use them and you need to learn how to mold them. So yeah, section divas can actually be really great people. All right, I hope that was helpful and understandable. So as usual, if you guys have follow-up questions, please post them in the comments below or on any of my other social media so we can talk about this even more. Because again, we still have not covered everything that you can cover about section divas. And as usual, if you like this video, make sure to give me a big thumbs up and hit subscribe for new videos every Saturday. My last video is over there, and if you want to catch me during the week, my social media networks are down there. But otherwise, I will see you guys next week. Bye. I'm kind of thirsty at the moment. It's very warm here in Seattle, so I'm drinking some fizzy water right now. I'm not so sure if drinking fizzy water is actually the best choice to drink while drinking stuff on camera, because, I don't know, gas? But oh well.